guys, welcome back. Yes, that's it. We've been trying this all day, and I knew what I wanted to say, and sometimes I just don't know. Please forgive the post-bath here. But, letting go of the idea of a jealous God, and this is hard, and we can all make progress towards it, and then because it's the only thing we were raised with, and therefore it's the only thing we know in our subconscious and in our programming, we revert back to it. Odin has been actually the one, along with Loki, but Odin more so, pushing me beyond what I would think would be acceptable to him. He's the one pushing me. And he's like, you're going to go over there and you're going to celebrate Diwali and you're going to do it right. Shove. And I got, yes, exactly. And he's been the one, going crazy with buy incense and buy candles and get this and get that. And, he's been after me for years. True story. He's like, where's your Ganesh statue? Well, oh father, I had one many decades ago, but my parents wouldn't let me actually worship any deities, so I just got a candle, and I just got it because it was pretty, so I was afraid to actually use it, and then something happened, and Lord Ganesh got broken, and I don't have anything. And he's like, well, why haven't you bought another one? I said, well, I don't work with Ganesh, nearly as much as I work with, Loki or say Odin. I give him worship, I give, all the good offerings, but I'm like, I don't really, have a huge devotion to him the way I do to you, oh father. We just did this fancy ceremony, don't you remember? He goes, yeah, but you just spent 5 days working with, Ganesh and Lakshmi and Krishna and Vishnu. And Odin was teasing me because I was so tired last night, kept saying Shiva for some reason. I don't know why, but he's like, oh, I think I know who your next one is. I'm like, no, we have so many gods. And really, my first reaction with Vishnu and Krishna, even though I've worked with them before, was no, no, out, out, out. We have too many gods. And Asmodeus is like, oh, no, you don't. They're coming in. And Odin's the one that said, I know Diwali is ending, and I know you think that I'm going to be the typical, stereotypical Odin and slam the door shut and you can't play with your friends anymore. And he said, as long as you keep up your devotions, this is Odin's rule for the house, and it would stay true to his personality and the lore. Whatever devotion you're giving to one goes to everyone. Everyone gets to share. They're gods, they can make it work. And I said, are you sure? And he says, yes. So he had been watching with me. They remember this order that I've been having fun with, and I'm not blaming any of the people that work for Walmart. This is their system that's messing stuff up. Well, remember how they had somebody drive incense to my house? I'm sure they were thrilled. I'm sorry to the person that had to do that. Incense and applesauce. I'm sorry, I really am. Um, there were supposed to be candles and one more package of incense in with that, and they were supposed to ship it and deliver it yesterday. Obviously, it didn't show up, so it was supposed to ship and deliver today. They are shipping the incense from one place and the candles from another, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted you to do. I understand that there's stuff wrong with the supply chain, but then they're like, well, they haven't actually given it to FedEx, so I think they're canceling it. So he took me to Amazon because he goes, you're going to make sure you have enough candles. You're going to make sure you have enough incense. I'm like, I'm sure we have enough now, but he sweet talked me into the candles that Loki loves. I've shown them to you before. We have some we kept, but we kept the rounds. There are these colorful plastic cups, and a lot of people actually do end up getting them for Diwali, and they're really pretty, and it's a regular candle on the inside. And if you're careful when you burn it, you can keep the little plastic cup, and I don't know, Loki likes to collect them. And there was a point where I was making rune set for Odin, and he liked them, and he kept a couple of the ones with rune. I think he kept Kanaz and maybe Gable. I'm not sure what he kept. I probably should have spelled his name now I'm thinking of it, but I like those. But they're not the cheapest ones, and I wasn't going to get them. And he says, order them. So I ordered that, and I'm looking at incense because, they had canceled some of the incense. And he says, get that too. And I got it, and there was two kinds I really, really wanted, and they're the cheapest kind. You can buy some for like a small fortune, or you can buy the really cheap kind. I buy the cheapest kind possible. It's this channel. And, I saw 2 boxes. I put one back. And I come online and I'm doing my thing, and Odin's still like pushing me, and he goes, "You're afraid." And I said, "What?" He goes, "You're afraid to open up your heart and to work with Ganesh, and don't tell me you're not afraid because they're both gods of knowledge and wisdom." And fine, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm afraid you're gonna get mad at me. And then Odin's like, metaphorically speaking, arms crossed, like, "Oh, so I'm like the god you were raised with, huh?" Yeah, yeah. And I was afraid he'd abandon me if I started working with Ganesh more, and he knew it. And he's like, "That's why you're afraid of, Shiva, and you're afraid of working with Vishnu and Krishna." He says, "What do you think they're gonna do? Kidnap you and carry you somewhere?" No, no, I'm not you. And remember, Indo-European roots, and there are people that will argue, well, people will argue that, I forget what god it is, but they'll say that, our gods, with all due respect to people who believe it differently, could have come from this pantheon anyhow, that it was all a long, long time ago before any of us can remember. It was all like the same pantheon. It just got cultural differences as people migrated. So, we went back and we got the other box of incense I really wanted, because he says, "This will give this stuff to you. You will have it. You will have peace of mind." And they have these little tiny Ganesh statues, literally 1 inch tall. So imagine Ganesh being this big. And I'm like, he's so tiny. He is like a 1 inch tall statue of Lord Ganesh. And like, he's like 1 inch wide too. So he's like this little teeny tiny Ganesh. And I'm like, you can almost see him. And he said, you could put that right on your computer, where Ganesh has been trying to like push in to get closer. He would like to be here because wisdom and crafting and everything. Odin doesn't have a problem. The only time I've seen Odin have a problem is if he feels, another god is maybe not teaching you, because he puts everyone through a trial. He doesn't care if they're human or divinity. In this is goes by case basis, so you might get a different experience, but he put Asmodeus through a big long trial. See how much Asmodeus wanted it. How much did he want to be here? How good of a teacher and a protector was he going to be? Once he earned Odin's respect, Odin goes on walkabout now and leaves, Asmodeus or somebody in charge. Loki doesn't care to be in charge. I got, yeah. And he sees Ganesh treats me well. He sees that Vishnu and Krishna are coming over, and they are treating me well, and he sees that all the gods are trying to, teach me good lessons. So, you can do whatever you want, but let go of the fear. I hope I made some kind of point with that, but we've been kind of going crazy. I do care about the planet, and like every order is now being split up into like, here's a box, there's a box everywhere, box, like they used to do it years ago. They're back to that. Loki's asking me to build a box fort though, so there you go. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.